Pinji is a company that made many Plants vs. Zombies plush sets, and today we're going to be looking at the final Plants vs. Zombies plush set that they ever made. So with that said, welcome to a look at the Pangea Plants vs. Zombies Set 4 plush set. Now I'll start with the first plush of the set, which is the potted Peashooter. Now all the potted plush in the set uses the exact same pot, and them being made out of a normal plush material that has Plants vs. Zombies text embroidered onto them. And for the Peashooter itself, the stem's actually a really bad detail about it because it could get extremely floppy over the years and just kind of fall over. The reason for this is that it doesn't have anything inside the stem except stuffing, so yeah, there's nothing really to hold it up well over the years, so that's a really bad thing about this plush, because it could easily get damaged there. And this plush has two leaves which are made out of a felt material, and they could get bent and damaged over the years, so yeah, that's obviously a bad thing about this plush. And another inaccuracy about this plush is that it's all the same color, as the head of this plush is supposed to be a lime or green color than the stem and the leaves, but it's not. But yeah, this plush's head is overall pretty accurate and has nice embroidery on the eyes. It also has a nice leaf on the back of it, which isn't made out of a felt material like other companies, so yeah, that's a plus about this plush. But yeah, overall, there's a lot of inaccuracies about this plush, but if you still want it, you could get it on eBay or Zanyu, but it will be quite hard to find. And now let's move on to the next plush set, which is the Sunflower. And this plush uses the exact same leaves and stem as the Peashooter, so it could all get damaged just like the Peashooter, so the neck could get floppy over the years. And one really weird thing about the Sunflower plush is that for some reason the back of the head is the same color of the face, even though it's not supposed to be, because the back of the head is supposed to be a green color, not the same color as the face. And now the face on the Sunflower is overall just kind of lacking detail because it's only two eyes and a mouth, which overall just doesn't really look that good for some reason because they just didn't make the pupils big enough. So yeah, the eyes are just mostly black, which overall just kind of looks weird. And the color of the face is overall just really weird because it's kind of like an orangish brown color, even though it's definitely not supposed to be like that. So yeah, that's definitely one inaccuracy about this plush that's just really bad. And all the petals around the Sunflower's head are overall just way too small, and they're also made out of a felt material, so you can get easily damaged over the years. So yeah, overall, the Sunflower plush is just not that good of a plush because there's a lot of inaccuracies on it and a lot of details that could get easily damaged over the years. And honestly, this plush has to be one of the worst in the set just for those things, just because it could get easily damaged and it's just overall just really inaccurate. But if you want this plush, you can find it on eBay or Zanyu. Now let's move on to probably one of the most simplistic plushes in the set, being the Snow Pea. Now this plush uses the exact same pattern as the Peashooter plush, and it actually just is basically the exact same plush besides the head. Because the only thing that's changed about this plush is that the head is just blue and the leaf on the back of it is just blue instead of being a darker green color. And that's literally all they changed about this plush. They didn't even change any designs or anything, and they didn't make the stem a different color like it's supposed to be on the Snow Pea. So yeah, it's overall just kind of a really weird plush because it's basically the exact same as the other plush we already looked at. So yeah, I honestly don't have much to say about this plush because it's basically an exact copy of the Peashooter, but the stem could also get severely understuffed over the years just because it was the exact same as the Peashooters. And one thing I did notice about the Snow Pea plushes is that it seems for some reason the necks on these plushes are just longer. Because basically every single picture and listing I've seen of this plush, the neck is just really long for some reason, and also the one that I own also just has a really long neck that could just get understuffed over the years. So I don't know if that's like a quality control thing or that's how actually the plush is supposed to be. But yeah, overall, this plush is just really weird because it's basically an exact copy of the Peashooter, but if you want, you can find it on eBay or Zanyu. Now also on to the next plush though, which is the Walnut. Now this plush was probably one of the easiest to make in the whole set because they just combined two plushes, being the plant pot and also just the Walnut plush. So basically what Pangea did is they just got their Walnut plush and stitched it onto a pot and called it a new plush, which is overall just kind of a really easy thing to do for them. But yeah, the Walnut itself is overall really good because it actually can get understuffed in any areas like the other plants because it doesn't have a stem on it, so this one actually holds up a lot better than the other ones. But yeah, really the only bad thing about this Walnut plush is that it's overall just really weirdly shaped because it's not actually a circular shape like it's supposed to be, it's actually a lot taller than it's supposed to be. But besides that, the rest of the plush is overall really good because it has some really nice embroidery on the face and also has some extra details at the bottom of it to make it look more accurate. Which is something that I'm pretty sure only Pangea ever did on their Walnut plush, so this makes this one a lot more unique. But yeah, overall, this plush is just really good, especially because it holds up really well over the years and there's really no details that could get damaged. So yeah, if you want this plush, you can either find it on eBay or Zanyu. And now let's move on to the next plush set, which is the Chomper. Now the Chomper plush has the exact same problem as other plants in the set because it has a stem on it, so it could get easily understuffed over the years. And the Chomper head itself actually just looks really good in my opinion because unlike the Langston version, it actually doesn't have eyes on it, which already makes it a lot better than that version. It also just overall looks really good in my opinion. Because well, I think the color of purple they chose to use on this plush overall just looks really good for a Chomper, and they also made a lot of good details on it, and it basically has all the accurate details that are needed on a Chomper plush, except the only really bad details about it is that there's some details that could get damaged, such as like the teeth, because they're made out of a felt material. And also the inside of the mouth, which is actually a brownish color, which isn't supposed to be like that, it's supposed to be a reddish color, which is also made out of a felt material so it could collect dust and debris over the years, but besides that, the rest of the plushes overall just look really good. And well, besides the teeth and the mouth, the rest of the plush overall just looks really good. I would definitely recommend getting it. So if you can find this plush on eBay or Zanio, I would definitely recommend getting it because well, it's overall just a really accurate looking Chomper plush. And now let's move on to the next plush, which is the Jalapeno. Now, just like the Walnut, this plush was probably very easy for Pangea to make because they just took another plush and just put a plant pot on the bottom of it. Because, well, the Jalapeno is basically the exact same Jalapeno used in past sets made by Pangea, except it's just stitched onto a flower pot, so it's just overall a really easy plush for them to make. But yeah, the Jalapeno itself overall looks pretty weird, especially on the eyes. Because well, some companies like WorldMax overall did a pretty good job making the 3D eye look, but this one just definitely did not. I think another thing that just makes this plush overall look really weird is the stem on it for some reason just stretches out really long over the face, which I just don't really like that much. And overall, I think that they should have just made the plush 2D instead of 3D on the eyes because, well, they overall just look really weird in my opinion. They definitely should have done that. But yeah, besides the eyes and the stem overall being really weird, the mouth was overall pretty nicely embroidered on. The good thing about this plush is that it doesn't have a stem, so it can't really get understuffed over the ears. But yeah, if it wasn't for the weird eyes and stem, this plush would overall be pretty good. And if you want this plush, you can find it on eBay or Zanio. And now let's go on to the next plush, which is the Bloomerang. Now the leaf base on this Bloomerang plush overall looks pretty accurate to how it looks in the game, so it's overall pretty nice. And well, the Bloomerang itself is overall just really skinny for some reason, but besides that, it's actually overall a really good plush. Because I really like the light blue color that they used on the top of it, and the Bloomerangs themselves overall just look really good in my opinion. Now, there's actually no details on this plush that could get easily damaged besides the Bloomerangs getting understuffed over the years, but besides that, there's really no details that could get damaged because, well, it doesn't really have any felt or iron-on materials on it that could get damaged over the years. And overall, they seem to put a lot of work into this plush because, well, but overall it just looks really good and it's one of the better plushes in the set. And well, if you can find this one, I would definitely recommend getting it. You could look on eBay or Zanio, but it's extremely rare and barely has any documented owners of it. And now let's go on to the next plush of the set, which is the Choy. Now this Choy plush overall looks pretty accurate in terms of the design of the body because it overall just looks really good in my opinion. The only thing that I don't really like about this plush is that the face of it for some reason has this like really weird embroidery on it. It uses a ton of different colors on it which doesn't really need to be there. Because for some reason instead of just using black embroidery like they should have, they use green embroidery and also white embroidery, which overall just looks really weird as it just doesn't really look that good together. As they made certain details one different type of stitching but made other details a different type of stitching. So yeah, it's overall just a really weird looking face that I just don't really like it on this plush. But besides that, the shape of the body is overall pretty good, and well, the arms on the plushes overall look pretty good as well, except they do look a little weird because they have like no metal rods in them like the Langston version, so they're just kind of like laying there. So yeah, they overall just kind of look really weird just kind of just sitting there. And I think it would have looked better if they put something in them to make them looking like more standing up so it overall looks more accurate to the game. But besides that, the rest of the plush is overall pretty good, except it is extremely rare, so if you want it, you can look on eBay or Zanio, but you have a very low chance of finding it just because it's extremely rare. Now let's move on to the next plush, which is the Coconut Cannon. Now overall, this Coconut Cannon plush is overall pretty good, except it does have a few weird details on it. And by far the weirdest detail on it is the fuse because, well, for some reason it has this really fuzzy part on it for literally no reason. And it definitely is not supposed to be like that, so yeah, this is overall a really weird detail they decided to add. But besides that one really weird detail, the rest of the plush is overall just pretty good. The shape of it is overall pretty nice. It has some pretty nice embroidery on the face that looks overall pretty accurate to how it's supposed to be. And while on the sides of it, it has coconuts with leaves on them, and the leaves could get bent and damaged because they are made out of a felt material, but besides that, the rest of the materials on this plush are overall pretty good and hold up really nicely over the years. And well, if this plush wasn't so rare, I would definitely recommend getting it, but it is extremely rare, so if you do want it, you can look on eBay or Zanio, but there's basically no documented owners or barely even any documented images of it, so it's just extremely rare to find. And now let's move on to the next plush, which is the Chili Bean. And this probably has to be one of the most simplistic plushes in this whole set, but it's still overall pretty good. And I would say Pangea did a pretty good job making the shape of it look accurate to the game, and the face does also look kind of weird though. I don't really know why the face looks weird, it just kind of looks off in my opinion, but besides that, the rest of the plush is overall pretty good. It has a nice stem on it, which overall looks pretty nice. And well, since Chili Bean is a very simplistic character, it's a very simplistic plush for them to make, so that's why it's lacking a lot of details, because, well, it just doesn't need that many details overall. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with this plush, especially for how simplistic it is. But yeah, just like the coconut cannon, this plush is overall pretty good, and if you could find it, I would highly recommend getting it because it is extremely rare, and also it looks pretty nice. You can look on eBay or Zanu, but it is extremely rare, and you probably won't be able to find it easily. And now also on to the next plush set, which is the Fire Gourd. Now, one thing that you'll quickly notice about this plush is it's kind of a lower quality version of the Lynxen one. Because as you'll notice, it basically uses the exact same design as the Lynxen version, except they kind of just changed a few details, and honestly, it makes it look worse in my opinion. First off, for some reason they made the Fire Gourd plush just a lot wider on this one, which overall just kind of looks weird, and it doesn't really look that nice. They also made it a lot flatter than the Lynxen version. And while the embroidery on the face overall looks pretty nice, for some reason the specks on the cheeks are really far apart for some reason, and also the eyes are facing the complete opposite direction, which makes the Fire Gourd plush just look extremely weird. And I think the main reason for this is that even on the Lynxen version, they are looking in separate directions, but the eyes aren't the exact same on the Lynxen version, and this one is basically just a mirrored face on each side. Because as you can tell, the eyes are both the exact same size, which they aren't supposed to be, but yeah, overall, this plush just doesn't really look that good in my opinion. The Lynxen version is definitely a lot better. It has a stem and leaf on the top, which seems to be made out of a felt material, so that could get damaged over the years. But yeah, overall, this Fire Gourd plush seems to be just kind of a lower quality version of the Lynxen one, but I would still recommend getting it if you could find it, because it is extremely rare, and I recommend looking on eBay or Zenu, but you have a very low chance of finding it. And now also into the next plush set, which is the Bamboo Shoot. Now overall, this Bamboo Shoot plush is overall pretty weird, especially on the bottom of it, because, well, it's just missing the dirt base on it. Because, well, Bamboo Shoot is supposed to have a dirt base on it, but this one just kind of has like a normal, like, kind of yellowish color on it, which overall just looks really weird in my opinion, as it's not supposed to be there. And honestly, it doesn't really make much sense why they did that, because, well, but overall just makes the plush look a lot weirder, but it also kind of makes it more unique. But yeah, besides that one really weird detail, it's basically just the same as the Lynxen Bamboo Shoot, except it's just slightly taller and doesn't have extra detail on it. It's just like kind of like stitching instead of having like extra plush detail on it. And while the embroidery on the face overall looks pretty, I would have to say that this actually is a pretty good Bamboo Shoot plush overall. It's just kind of missing the dirt base on it. And well, this plush also be one of the more common ones in this set, because it's appeared on eBay a lot over the years. So yeah, if you do want this plush, you can look on eBay or Zanu. It's one of the more common ones in the set. And now moving on to the final plush in this set, we have the Zombie Hand. And well, they actually did a lot better job making this plush than the plants, because, well, the hand could actually hold up really well over the years, because, well, the stem and the plants were really not that well stuffed, but the hand on this one's overall pretty well stuffed, so it can't really get floppy over the years and fall over. And what I would overall say they did a great job on it, and really the only details that could get damaged are the nails, because they're made out of a felt material. But besides the nails on this plush, this one's actually just really good, and they made it out of a pretty weird material compared to the rest of the plush for some reason. And well, it's the only plush in the set to use this material, so it's overall just really weird that they decided to do that. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend getting this plushie if you could find it, because it's just very unique. But yeah, which plush in the set is your favorite? Mine's probably the Bloomerang. Comment down below yours, and yeah, have a great day.